When I started working on this problem, or well, I guess when I came across the problem, I was 19 in the military. At 18, I didn't really have the means to go to college. And it wasn't necessarily because I just didn't like school. We didn't have any money. And I was a lot of things happened as an adolescent, but I never really thought about life until I left home and I realized, damn, I'm by myself. Coming into the military, I never understood the meaning of life, and the question that came to me was, how can how can I live a life of meaning and discover meaning without accidentally attaching meaning to the wrong thing? Well, for example, I didn't want to give any value or meaning to something like a dollar amount or money because something in me told me that this isn't what is going to make life meaningful. It may help create experiences, but money alone might not help me feel fulfilled and feel like I'm living a life of meaning. And that was the problem that I tried so hard to uncover throughout the past couple years. So the question is, how can we live a life of meaning without accidentally attaching meaning to something else that eventually we won't find meaningful? How do we do that? Well, first, it's great to identify what meaning is. Meaning in the meaning can be both objective and subjective, right? Now, to a vast majority of people, meaning might be just live, experience, love, build relationships, connect. To a large majority of people, it might be get a lot of money, achieve your goals, never stop, always keep climbing. To some people, it might be who cares? So it's tough to say. I define meaning like this, which is meaning is the thing that you do or the thing itself that makes you wake up and despite everything chaotic going on, you truly look at life and you enjoy it. There's something. You need to do something, or there is something out here in the external world that will give that to you, to where all hell could break loose. Everything can start going downward, and yet you say, it's okay. I'm alive. This is beautiful. My gosh, I was in search of that for so long. And what didn't work for me was listening to what other people thought would make my life meaningful. And so this falls into the family members that think I should do this, the friends that think I should do this, the people that think I should believe this, it was none of that. What it was I began to ask myself, what would I do if I was the only person on earth? Now, for a large majority of my life, the answer was, well, I do nothing. I'm the only one. And then it slowly transitioned to where if I was the only one, I'd do everything. I'd walk everywhere. Food is unlimited. I can always feed myself. I'd walk everywhere just to experience life, look at the trees and wow, all this. And I just go until one day I die. And you can think of it as, well, that's a depressing life. And you can see it as, well, that's a beautiful life. So if we're going to talk about meaning, we have to talk about its combative opposite, the thing that destroys meaning. Well, what is that? That's fascinating, right? It'd be good to know that. What is it that destroys meaning? And what is it that rips us of meaning? Hopelessness, lack of hope. A lot of us continue to wake up every day and keep trying, mainly because we believe in something. We believe that there's an outcome. If you are, if you study religion, you believe in the teachings of the religion, which gives you hope to keep living because you are expecting the outcome. People that start a business, they are expecting an outcome. So they do the same things on repeat over and over again until one day they get the outcome. So they're hoping. Why is hope important? Well, within every human, there's an acknowledgement that we just do not know the truth and we do not know the answers and we do not know what is to come. It's too hard to call it. And even if you can call it, can you really confirm it? So within every human, there exists this acknowledgement that I do not know. And so, because you do not know, we have this void and this hole within our soul because now we become chaotic. I mean, that's what chaos is. That's what going crazy is. It's uncertainty to a degree where we lose hope. That's psychopathic, chaotic, and insanity. So much uncertainty that we lose hope because we do not know what is certain, which is why we crave certainty. In a world of uncertainty and spontaneity, the one thing us humans crave is certainty, something to expect, look forward to. Mothers and fathers, you go out here and work. You come home to, for what? You expect your children. You're expecting to come home to this, and when you don't come home to it, you feel wrong. If you don't come home to a house that you expect to be clean, well, now you're chaotic and you behave in a different manner. So hope, it's important because it's the one thing that makes waking up just a little bit more tolerable. It's the thing that ignites us. It's the thing that makes us feel alive. It's the thing that makes us want to keep going, keep climbing, keep achieving, keep trying. Hope that the outcome will be exactly how we expected it to be. I mean, it's magical, I'd say. Well, so now we have hope. What does a life look without it? Again, hope gets ripped away from us when we acknowledge that we just don't know. It looks something like this. I don't know what life's all about. I don't know myself. I don't know what my life is going to be all about. I don't know what I'm meant to do, what I'm destined to do. I don't care. And because I don't know, well, does it mean anything? Probably not, so I don't care. Well, since I don't care, I'll just do this because it feels good. Since this feels good, I'll keep doing it, and I'll try to find more things that feel good, and I'll add to the things that feel good. And usually the things that feel good don't necessarily help me grow. And so on a long enough time horizon, I become desolate, and these are the people that fall into drug addictions. These are the people that give up on life, that get lazy. It's the truth. They lost hope at one point in their life to where the only thing they focused on was the feeling. Hope isn't a feeling. Hope is imaginative. Hope is belief in something, an expectation of something that may not come, but at least it's the possibility is there. That's what hope is. And hopelessness causes you to embark on a path that's extremely desolate. You become chaotic, you become manic. Well, not even manic, but what happens is you become someone that begins to act in a way that isn't necessarily progressive, and you try to justify your own inadequate decisions. And you try to fool not only yourself, you try to fool the world. And in doing so, in trying to fool the world, you fool yourself to where when you look in the mirror, you are unaware of what the mirror is presenting you, and you don't necessarily like what the mirror is presenting you because it's presenting you with the realist truth, which is you, and you do not like you. So as you attempt to masquerade you lose yourself and you forget who you are. I mean, that's hopelessness. So, if we understand that hope is the thing that makes life meaningful, what can we do about it? It's an expectation, after all. When we hope, we dream. When we dream, it gives us enough willpower and enough courage and strength to fight, just to live long enough in hopes that we can see that dream come to life. Well, I think that's important because we all need a little bit of strength. A life with no strength or courage, a life with no meaning, is a life where we succumb to our weakness, our impulses, where we completely just give up. Hope restores that strength, that void in our soul. This is why so many people cling on to religious beliefs. The religious beliefs give a promise of a future which creates an expectation. And so we fight every day, we try every day in order to hopefully one day live to see the prophecy fulfilled. Or if not, if we don't, then we'll die with a peace because of our belief. I mean, a lot of people turn to religion in the darkest moments of their life. They go to the church, they open the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and in doing so, what they'll do is they'll try to restore that hope with faith and a belief in something firm, despite not being able to see it. But it's like, no, it will happen. It becomes your truth. And that would be the next level here. So if meaning is predicated on hope, and hope is predicated on a belief, then when we believe something firmly, it fills the gap and it becomes a placeholder for lack of truth, lack of knowing. That's what belief is. Belief isn't I know. Belief is despite me not knowing, I choose this. And so as belief enters the void, it replaces us not knowing because now we assume we know, hence the belief. And when this can exist in this void long enough, it becomes truth to us. Subjective truth, not necessarily objective truth, but subjective truth. And we may ask, well, why? Well, it's because the more you believe and the more you think of something, it warps reality in a way where you find every reason to believe it's true. We're always gonna campaign for the thing that we've done. If you ask me, why do I think a sales job is beneficial? I can tell you, and I can vouch, and I can campaign for it. If you ask me, why do you think working as a bartender is beneficial? I would not know. I've yet to do it, and I will actually build a counter argument as to why you shouldn't be a bartender and you should just go into sales, right? If you'll notice, that's the pattern in life with beliefs. The more someone believes something, the more it becomes their truth, and the more they try to make that truth a reality by adding more pieces of information to that truth. Because the last thing you need when you believe something and it becomes your truth is for that truth to be stripped away, because the outcome of that truth being stripped away from you is hopelessness. A feeling that you once knew and you remember it quite dearly. It's not like you want to feel that again, right? For crying out loud, who wants to feel that? It's terrible. Well, once we believe something, it becomes our truth, and we'll continue to try to find reasons to believe this truth. If you have a conversation with a person that grew up in the Christian doctrine and studied theology, he will have an undeniable stack of evidence as to why his belief is true. If you have a conversation with someone that was an atheist their whole life, they will have an undeniable stack of evidence that their belief is true. You put a born atheist and a born Christian together, it's a conflict because they're both campaigning for their side. Their whole life was, I need to build a stack of evidence to truly stand up for my belief and show people that I can back up my belief with some type of evidence and facts. Well, so then you can ask the question, well, what is belief? I mean, is there anything that's true? Well, when you accept that, who knows what the truth is, it can become quite desolate. We don't want that. I mean, we want a life of meaning after all. Part of meaning is just choosing to believe something. It doesn't matter what you believe in. You can believe in God. You can believe in Allah. You can believe in Christ. You can believe in science, the Big Bang, the theory of evolution, Einstein's theory of relativity. I don't care what you believe in, but we need to believe in something because that belief in something starts to create a single pillar, which is one pillar of many that create the foundation of what we build ourselves upon. If I am an atheist, I will build my belief, my traits and my persona, my personality, my actions, my behaviors will begin to warp around that single belief. If I believe in God, the same will occur. If I believe that pain is pleasure, you'll see my actions and my behaviors shift in a way to match that belief. I will look for pain, and I will brainwash my way into believing that pain isn't pain, but it's pleasurable. If I believe that there's an energy out here that watches over me, you'll see how risky I can get. You'll see how daring I can be. Because I know I'm protected. If I believe that I'm not meant to do anything, you'll see the hopelessness in my eyes. You'll see the lack of effort, the lack of strength. If I believe that I might be able to do something magnificent, you'll see the effort, you'll see the strength, you'll see the energy, you'll see the ambition. We need to believe in something. And there is nothing that we need to believe in, but I'd say, I mean, for crying out loud, a good place to start is the belief that we're being watched by some external eyes, some omnibenevolent, omnipresent force. I call it God. You can call it what you want. You can call it energy, a higher being, a guardian angel, Allah, the universe. You can call it nirvana. I don't care what you call it, but I think it's a good place to start. Well, you can ask, well, why is that the best place to start? Why not belief in yourself? And well, I can say, well, because belief in yourself is dangerous because you have a stack of undeniable proof that you've been inadequate at one point in your life. And beyond that, I am sure that we are finite. And so you're believing in something that's finite, and you're believing in something that is extremely flawed, that is likely to become more flawed, that is prone to doing the actions that necessarily aren't good because of this thing's flaw. We are the thing. So, I mean, belief in yourself is fine, but I think we need a grand belief in something to counteract and negate our insufficiency. And well, when we can believe in something like God, what it does is we believe in something that isn't flawed, that's powerful, that possesses an intelligence that supersedes the capacity for humans to even conceptualize. We begin to believe in something that's omnibenevolent, that flows and exists and dwells amongst every living thing that walks, lives, breathes, or moves on the face of this planet. I mean, that's magnificent. We begin to believe in something that lacks nothing but limitation. And then if we believe that that thing has a place for us in this world, if we believe that that thing has fated something and has determined and preordained the path for our life, then we can embark on that path with a little bit less fear, which makes the belief in ourselves enhanced. When you just believe in yourself, things can go wrong and there's a lot of fear and anxiousness. And if you dwell in that for long enough, you lose yourself. If you believe in something greater, you know that no matter what, things will play out how it's supposed to. And it's not like this omnibenevolent force that we call God is out to harm on purpose. It's out for our best interest. And if it means that we have to hurt, it's not done because this thing wants to see us suffer. It's because we must. Because this thing is omnibenevolent, all-knowing, so it can see the future. It can see multiple versions of us. We only know this version of us. So a great place to start to find meaning in life, to restore hope, is a belief in. When we ask, well, what should we even believe in? I'd say we believe in the greatest and the most grandiose thing that we can conceptualize. For me, at least, that was the conception of God, the idea of God. And once I believed in this thing, belief in myself became significantly more enhanced, and it was easier to believe in myself because I said, no matter what, despite my flaws, despite all the things that I've gone through, I'm guarded. So, well, now we believe in something. And that belief has allowed us to believe in more things. Well, where do we go from here? Well, once a belief is in place, it simply is it acts as a protective film. It doesn't necessarily guard us from the damages and the uncertainty and the chaoticness and spontaneity of the world. But now that we believe, belief alone is the antithesis of failure and defeat and hopelessness. We spoke about that earlier. It's the complete and it's the antithesis of that. So when we can believe, it just allows us to take action in a way where we are not afraid. Though we are finite and bounded creatures and we have limitations, belief makes us feel as though we have no limitations. That's how powerful beliefs are. It can be the difference from someone that doesn't take the leap and tries because of fear. And it's the difference from that to someone that goes because they know, like, no matter what, they will be okay and they can. That's a huge gap right there. Well, now that we believe we can take action, it's a lot easier for us to take action. And so then the next question would be, well, now that we're taking action, what is it that we're supposed to be doing? We have a belief. What are we supposed to do per se? I define the proper way to take action as do the thing that will progressively assist you in becoming the future version of yourself. If you have an image and a dream and an idea of how future you looks, how future you thinks, acts, behaves, the actions you have to take are the things that directly impact current you and help you get one step closer towards becoming future you. But before that, we need to set a definite aim and goal. We have to establish a vision. We really have to see thoroughly, not just how we look, how we feel, how we speak, what we think about, how our routines look, how our days look, who are the people around us, what are we doing? Once we have that vision, it's easier for us to mold reality because, and here's the thing, right? It's not that things are unavailable, it's just we are so bombarded with options that we don't know what choice. A great example of this is this this one question of, if I ask you how many yellow cars you saw today on the freeway, you'd be unable to tell me. However, if I said, okay, tomorrow focus on yellow cars and count them, by the end of the day, you'll tell me, oh, I saw this many cars. And I'll say, well, did you go anywhere different today? You said, no, I just went to work. Same thing. And I say, well, those cars were already there. You just didn't see it because you weren't focusing on it. So if, for example, your future you, your future life is unrecognizable and it's low resolution and you can't create the image, it'll be really hard for you to get there because you don't know exactly what you have to do, what definitive actions and what people you have to allow in your life and what you need to focus on. But when you can enhance the resolution of the image of future you and your future life, you can say, oh wow, future me wants a happy family. And so now it's not necessarily that you're looking for a partner, but now you can identify a good partner that come into your life because they're already there. You don't have to search, it'll come. But now you can see it and you can say, ah, I like that. And then you walk towards it. You walk towards something that presents itself to you. You don't chase after something that's unattainable. It's not how it works. We create a vision. We create a desire. The desire creates the opportunity, which is how life presents it to us. But we need to know the vision in order for us to acknowledge the opportunity so that it doesn't just slip out of our hands. Doesn't mean we jump at every opportunity either. I know a lot of people may fall into that trap. We don't jump at every opportunity. What happens is we get to a point where we can see. Our level of discernment increases significantly. Well, so now we've taken actionable steps. And actionable steps are the thing that help us get closer to becoming future us. And while future us, it's our job to create a vision and thoroughly define it so that life can present the opportunities for reality to become that vision, for us to warp reality. Reality will literally warp and transform if you can create a vision, be aware of every little thing that happens in your day-to-day life, and capitalize on moments and opportunities that you think are significantly important and you need to. But you need to have discernment to know if you're making the right call or the wrong call. Because if you make the wrong call, it just makes the journey longer and more difficult. If you make the right call, you've done a good deal. It's like passing a test almost. Because you made a good call, good choice, good decision. And there's nothing better than making a good decision in moments where you could have made the wrong one. Because when you make the right decision, you show this external eye that watches us that we possess, or that you possess a level of intellect, that you possess a level of discernment. And so whatever that is, we'll say, well, hey, this human's been able to see this that we gave him or her, and they were able to capitalize just as we intended. Perhaps we should test this human more. Now, it's also scary because you pass one test, you'll be presented with another test. Test that might be more difficult, right? I mean, that's the school system. First test is easy, then it gets increasingly more difficult, but it's not too scary because you learn. You learn. All the things that are in that test, you learn about it. You learn about the topics. You learn about the subjects. You break it down. You study the material. So in life, when you pass a test, you'll experience and you'll gain knowledge and intuition, and You'll go through things that enhance your wisdom and your level of discernment and awareness so that when the next test comes, which is increasingly more difficult, you've studied the material. The material is your life, your experiences, your day to day interactions, your thoughts. I mean, you study this, and when the next test comes, you'll be fine. So, well, again, future us, vision. With vision, discernment presents opportunities and it allows us to capitalize on opportunities. I'm sorry, the vision will present the opportunity because it's already out here. With the vision, now we see clearly. With discernment, it gives us the opportunity to capitalize. That's what it does. So now that we've capitalized and let's say we've passed a few tests, well, now what? Now we can repeat that. Perhaps we are on a path of meaning. Now we're on our life's path, but instead of being desolate and hopeless, perhaps now we're walking a path that we find meaningful. And I'd argue that there's nothing more beautiful than living a life of meaning, be it objective or subjective. Whatever is meaningful to you, do it. Live it. You got one shot at this, and you deserve to give it your all and lay it all on the field before your time comes. You really do. So try. Give it everything you have. And you need to work extremely hard on yourself to get to these points where you're like, I see. Things in life just start magically flowing into you and you're just sitting here perplexed and pondering and saying, how the heck did that happen? Not even you know. That's how magnificent life is. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's terrifyingly brilliant. And so, well, that was the way I discovered meaning. I had to go through phases of caring about tangible things. Right? Money, the cars, the goals, all this. Things that at the time really didn't mean anything to me. I've had to experience that in order to know that that wasn't necessarily what was best for me. Or on a long enough time horizon, it wasn't necessarily something that I would care about deeply. And that's really allowed me to make decisions moving forward. So I don't place too much of a value on things like money, though I still strive for it. I'm alive, I might as well. I want it. I want to be profitable. I want to be able to take care of my future family one day. But it's not that meaningful to where it rules over me, to where it's my master, to where I'll do anything for it. Because I found meaning in something else. And the root of my meaning is predicated on my belief in something greater than me, which has allowed everything else to fall through. The belief in something filled the void. Once I filled the void, I started to hope again. Once I started to hope, I feared hope being stripped away from me. So I started studying, trying to add more pieces of evidence to back up my belief. I believed it for so long, it became my truth. Once it became my truth, I didn't feel hopeless. And it was easier for me to believe in other things like myself. Once I began to believe in myself, because I was able to believe in something else, I was able to establish a vision for my life. And that vision allowed me to take actionable steps to bring future me here. And on the journey of trying to bring future me here, life has presented people, opportunities, and things in my life. Like truly, the world has worked and the universe and God has worked in a way where I would not have met some people had I not made certain decisions. And it's magnificent how life works. My life has changed forever because of that. And I reflect and we connect the dots backwards and I just see how magnificent everything unfolded. And well, really have to focus on these things, especially in a life where we do little to no thinking, little to no reflection. In these times, there's so many stimulants and there's so many things that we can consume that we don't know how to stop. But it's in stopping where we actually transform. It's in thinking that we actually learn how to structure thoughts, and then we learn how to think. And when we learn how to think, everything else just adds on top of it. So, how do we live a life of meaning? That was the problem that I was working on for quite a few years. And it took a lot of trial and error to come to that conclusion. A conclusion that showed me meaning is subjective. It is not a one size fits all. But the one thing that is a one size fits all is you need to believe in something. People that believe that the world is terrible and that people are terrible humans and they hate people, that, that gives them meaning. Look at the way they behave. The thing we believe in, the thing that gives us hope, shapes our behaviors. Be mindful of that, because then if you choose the wrong thing, you'll warp yourself. You'll become someone that's truly unrecognizable. You might even be frightening and terrifying. Live a life of meaning. And take time to really understand what meaning is and what makes up meaning in your life. That's all I got.